If all the headshots basically on your website look the same and sort of convey the same sort of generic look, you're not doing your job as a creative. Your job as a creative is to solve people's problems. Hey everyone, this is my friend Jessica and colleague as well. Jessica owns a digital marketing agency in Toronto, and I do a lot of photography for her company. What I want to talk about today, what we're going to talk about today is, it's fine. She's making room for my fat butt. Just shooting sort of a standard headshot on white, gray, or black doesn't cut it when it comes to working with brands.
It's true. I think brands really separate you from competitors. And I think part of our job working with law firms and our clients is to identify what really their brand identity is and making sure that comes across, whether it be in the writing and or your photos. And I think, people hire lawyers because they want to work with that person. So it's so important that we get the right image as it relates to their headshots, because a lot of the times that's going to be their first point of contact in actually seeing their client.
And it's interesting that within just the vertical of lawyers, you find so many different approaches to the brand. The last shoot we worked on together, the lawyers wanted to be, one of the words that they used was badass. Mm-hmm. And so they wanted to look badass. And so how do you convey badass in a photo of a headshot of lawyers? If you're just doing a standard 3-light setup or, 1 or 2 light setup and creating headshots that look like every other lawyer, every other law firm, or just like every other headshot that you do, if you're just shooting the same generic headshot, you're making yourself into a technician and not a creative. The job of a creative is to serve the client and the client's needs. Often that comes in the form of brand guidelines, and you will get those brand guidelines in a PDF. If you search for a company that you know of, and if you go into Google and search that company's name and then brand guidelines, you will probably find a PDF document that contains all their colors, their Pantone colors, their hex colors that they use on their website, words and language that they use to describe the voice that their copy is to be written in. And there will also be a set of photographic standards, hopefully. If there isn't, then it's your job to help them define that within the context of their brand.
It's really important for us, because we're marketing our clients, to make sure that their photo is going to match who their clients are going to come and meet, right, when they come into the office. So aligning with that brand identity, figuring out what that is, because I know a lot of our clients will talk about who they want to be versus who they are. And I think there's, having that sweet spot between those two and ensuring that's what's coming across in their photos.
Right. We actually just did photos for a criminal defense attorney in the Toronto area who is trying to elevate his brand and take on clients with a much higher income level. And when we were shooting, we wanted to make sure that the images that we were getting represented that intention. If we shot for who he was currently, we would not achieve the results of taking his brand to that next level where he's trying to get to. I have also had to create lighting diagrams and create the photographic brand for a number of companies, including McMaster University here in Hamilton, where I helped with their new brand define sort of the approach to taking the images that would work within the context of their brands and how all of their images within their brand end up being duotoned. So we had to be able to create an image that could convert very well to black and white, which could then convert to a duotone to match the brand. And that's it.
I think it's important, that consistency as well, right? So as your job, and you've done it for me, is creating those brand standards as it relates to the images, so that that's something that they can continue on even doing in-house in terms of their images.
Right. The forensics company that I shoot for in Canada here, well, in this area, they have investigators working all across the country, but they're not going to fly me out to Winnipeg or Vancouver or Halifax to do those photos. They will hire photographers in those areas who will shoot to my brand specifications, and then those raw files come to me for the retouching part to make sure that there is consistency in the finished image as well.
And I think we identify with brands, and that's the important part of making sure it aligns with what kind of clients you're after in terms of what your image is. And if there's an alignment, that helps our job as the marketer.
So what we're going to start off doing is I'm going to photograph Jessica in sort of generic white, gray, and black looks that you might see. These are fine looks. They're good, but they are generic. And we're going to start there. So let's take a look at that. So for this next shoot, what we've decided to do is come up with a fictional brand called Goldenrod. So tell us about Goldenrod.
I've been a graphic designer for 15 years, so I'm going out on my own. And I'm really interested in clients who want to think out of the box, who want to be seen out of the box, and are just vibrant and full of life.
So what are the words that you use to describe the voice that your company writes its copy in and speaks to clients in?
Okay. Vibrant, energetic, youthful, playful as well.
All right, playful. Okay, great. So you see how that's not something that we could really easily do on just like a plain white, plain gray, or plain black backdrop. It's not really going to serve the client as well as we would like. So we're going to now produce headshots that will serve that look. I'm so small. Okay, so we're set up with Jessica here in the back. We're going to do the brand shoot. We've got her dressed in sort of that yellow, that goldenrod color. We've got a yellow backdrop because that is the brand identity. So remember the keywords. We're vibrant, playful, energetic, and youthful. So we want to convey that in this shot. So the light we're using is a Westcott 48-inch Octabox. Normally this light I would use with both diffusion panels in, but I have taken both diffusion panels out. So we're going to have a very hard light, as if I was just using a 7-inch reflector on the light coming and lighting our subject. Because remember, the brand identity is vibrant. So we want it to be like hard, poppy, vibrant shots. We don't want to soften the look. We want to make this look energetic and fun, as if it's the sun shining directly down on our subject. So I've taken both diffusion panels out, so we're going to have that central hard light. But because we're in a 48-inch silver Octabox, the light is also going to bounce around and create some extra specular fill. And these shots are going to look fantastic. Let's take a look. Hey, it's been a couple of months since we shot that video, and when we shot it, I was pretty busy. We had the studio sublet for a month. I've since moved into my own studio, and I didn't have we were just really busy, and I wasn't able to wrap it up properly. So I want to do that now. In short, think about what it is that you can do to offer more value to your clients. When someone reaches out to you for headshots, the first question you should ask them is, what is your brand? Tell me about your brand. And instead of just like, oh, I can do that, I can execute that, and then just shooting, standard white, standard gray, typical headshots. Bring value to the table. Bring more to the table as a creative. Your value will increase, and people will come to you because they'll understand that you understand their business and their values and their brand voice and their brand style. Here are a couple photos of a client of mine named Vanessa. Her company is called Green Content. She's a copywriter. She writes copy for people. She wanted the photos to reflect her brand and her brand colors, which are obviously green. And so we did that. We shot it on green seamless, and then I tweaked the colors a bit, but it produced a result that she was exceptionally happy with, that she wouldn't have gotten from someone who's just shooting photos on black, white, or gray. Increase your value, add value to your clients, and they'll come to you because they know that you understand their brand needs and their brand requirements. Thank you for tuning in. Please hit subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.